All right. Welcome to POP Podcast. I am so pumped for this one because, we are going deep today on something that I've been thinking about for a while now.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you have too. We're talking old man Bond movies.
Mhm.
What would that even look like? And
Mm.
what's the closest we've gotten to that in a film?
Right.
We're on a mission today, folks.
Yeah.
I'm calling it a mission because, James Bond,
Think so?
we're going to unpack why we're so drawn to this concept. Like, why does this idea grip our imagination? We're going to explore some what ifs and even try to pinpoint a film that comes close to this idea of Bond, but, seasoned,
Okay,
a
yeah.
little bit, a
Mature.
little more mature. Yeah,
A little more experienced.
exactly. And we're pulling all of this from a really interesting Screen Rant article that got my brain firing on all cylinders.
I'm in. Let's do it.
It really does tap into something, doesn't it? It's like you have these characters who are so iconic, so powerful, and then you imagine them with the wisdom and maybe the weariness of age.
The weight of experience. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a whole new chapter, right?
Absolutely.
I see this in comics all the time. Think about Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. Batman, but older, grittier.
Yeah, definitely.
So awesome. And then there's Old Man Logan. It's such a bleak future,
Mhm.
but Wolverine is just like carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. We even saw a taste of it with Texas Chainsaw on Netflix, Old Man Leatherface.
Yeah, I remember that one. Didn't expect it.
It's like seeing these legendary figures confronting their own legacies.
That's it. You nailed it.
It's more than just action. It's about mortality, the past catching up with you, and what truly survives.
I think that's what makes it so compelling.
Right. And it kind of flips the script on action movies.
Yeah.
We're not just getting adrenaline, we're getting depth, complexity.
Right. Exactly.
And then, of course, you can't help but think about the missed opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
The article mentions a possible Old Man Max film with Mel Gibson around the time of Mad Max. Fury Road back in 2015.
Whoa. Okay.
Can you imagine that? Gibson, older, maybe even more weathered by the wasteland. Now, George Miller went with Tom Hardy, and he killed it.
He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, Hardy was amazing. But there's this alternate timeline where Gibson reprises the role, but older, more haunted.
Yeah, that would have been something else.
Right. It makes you wonder.
Hmm.
But it kind of speaks to a bigger trend in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
They always seems to want younger actors when they reboot or continue these big franchises. Probably thinking about the long game,
Yeah, longevity, broad appeal.
Exactly. Appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah.
Keep the franchise going for years.
It makes sense from a business perspective.
And that brings us to the world of James Bond.
Cow 7.
The Screen Rant piece argues that an official old man Bond movie is unlikely, especially now with Amazon in control.
Right.
I mean, they're clearly setting up a whole Bond universe, which probably means younger actors who can play the role for a long time.
Across multiple movies, spin-offs, the whole shebang.
Right. And it kind of raises the question, can't a character like Bond transcend age? Couldn't there be a powerful story in his later years?
It's an interesting thought, for sure. I mean, there's so much potential there.
Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. The article suggests that The Rock from 1996, with a, more mature Sean Connery, is probably the closest we'll ever get to that old man Bond feel.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Have you seen The Rock recently?
It's been a while. Remind me.
So picture this. Nicolas Cage is this brilliant FBI chemist. Not exactly an action hero, right?
Not quite, no.
He gets thrown into this crazy hostage situation on Alcatraz. Rogue Marines have taken over the island and they've got biological weapons. Bad news.
Yikes.
The only person who can help Cage is Sean Connery, playing Captain John Mason.
Connery, I'm listening.
He's this tough, retired SAS operative. Not your average retiree, let me tell you.
Oh, I bet. I'm already intrigued.
Right. The article points out that Mason is basically a retired British spy with this ice-cool attitude.
Sounds familiar.
He's got this quiet confidence, even after years locked away, you just know he's a force to be reckoned with.
That Connery charm.
And they drop these little hints about his past with MI6.
No way, really?
Like they're saying, hey, he's been around the block.
Wink, wink.
Right. And get this, the name Mason could be an alias,
Yeah.
which ties into those fan theories that James Bond is a code name passed down through different agents.
Whoa, okay, that adds another layer to it.
It's like they knew what they were doing.
Planting seeds for us Bond fans.
Let's say that. But the biggest clue, the article argues, is Mason's behavior. He's facing impossible odds, but he's always cool under pressure. He's always got a quip, a
A
one-liner.
classic
He's
Bond.
resourceful, unflappable.
He's done it all before.
Exactly. It's pure Connery, but with the weight of experience behind it.
Like a Bond who's seen it all, done it all.
The author goes as far as to say that while The Rock wasn't Connery's last Bond movie, that was Never Say Never Again, may as well be.
I like that. It's like this unofficial epilogue.
It really does feel like that. It makes you dream about what an official old man Bond film could been.
It does, doesn't it?
It's too late for Connery and Moore, sadly.
Yeah, they were legends.
And Craig's Bond had a pretty final ending, too.
It did, but what about Brosnan? Or Dalton?
There was a chance there, right? They had the history, the gravitas, to pull off a more world-weary Bond.
They both had that presence, that understanding of the character.
Especially Brosnan. He could have brought that suave charm to an older, more reflective Bond.
I could see that.
But Hollywood seems to be all about a younger 007 now. Makes sense for the franchise, I guess.
Yeah, it's all about the long game.
But I can't help but wonder what could have been. It seems like The Rock is the closest we're going to get to an old man Bond experience.
It's a pretty good substitute, though. The spirit is there.
Absolutely. So to recap, folks, while we might not get a canonical old man Bond film, John Mason in The Rock is like the unofficial, grittier version.
Played by Sean Connery, no less.
He's got the experience, the wit, the coolness. It's Bond in all but name.
Exactly. He just happens to be operating outside of MI6.
It makes you think, right? What other action heroes deserve an older version? Why are we so drawn to this idea of seeing them later in their careers?
That's a good question.
Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe to POP Podcast so you don't miss our future explorations. We really appreciate the support.
I think it speaks to our fascination with character evolution, like what makes a hero and how do those qualities change over time.
Great point. It's definitely something to ponder. Thanks again for joining us for this Bond adjacent adventure. Until next time, folks. And hey, if you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.